All right, what's up, everybody? Glad to have you guys on here from the people that are in the live room to the people that are also on YouTube watching us live. We stream to YouTube now. We've been doing this for about 6 to 7 weeks. And since we've been doing this for about 6 to 7 weeks, it started because I had a strategy session with a girl. And before we hopped on the strategy session, it was free, to be honest. And before we hopped on, I was like, do you have any friends that you could invite to hop on with me? Because I had started kind of understanding after listening to my mentor that like I want to leverage my time as best as possible. So if I could get in front of five people rather than one person, that kind of would be a little bit better. So I'm like, okay. And she ended up inviting some people. And I kind of knew how many people she invited, but when I hopped on, it was like 6, 7 people on there. And I was like, wait, hold on. I'm doing a free strategy session. She went out there and did the work for me. And this is how my brain think. A lot of my students start to think like this as well because they spend time with me and we start thinking like each other, right? So I'm like, okay, I just had one person go find me, like how Jesus tells us, like, go make disciples. Well, she kind of went out and went fishing for me and brought all these people in front of me, and I got to coach them. And like as I was talking to them, I was giving them the game and the strategy. But that wasn't even the best part. The best part was it was a whole bunch of girls or beauty pros in the room, and they were bouncing ideas off each other. And it was like, oh my gosh, like look at the power of proximity. Like if I you put some people in the room and they get the mastermind in their brains and they start bouncing off each other. We had people from Trinidad, Tobago. We had people from Canada. We had people from the US. I was like, oh my gosh. So of course I got off the call and I'm marinating on like my days and reflecting. And the Holy Spirit started dropping in my mind like this thing, like it was like whiteboard Mondays, like whiteboard Monday, do it every week. I'm like, bro, you doing too much. I'm not doing this every week because it's gonna require me to do a lot or like prepare and all that type of stuff. But I'm a student of the game and I really am big on my faith. So I'm like, you know what? I went ahead and bought the domain. And then I went ahead and made the funnel. And I went ahead and taught the first lesson. One person showed up the first time. And then the next week, maybe two people, because she invited her friend. But then like by the third, fourth week, it was like a consistent four people, a consistent five people. And last week we had over about 6 or 7 people on there at one time, which was the most I've ever had. So right now I'm just doing what I was told to do. And as I do what I was told to do, as I get better at it, he'll send me more people. So that's how Whiteboard Mondays originated. And my goal is, I told you guys, I have to be transparent with the live group. Uh, if you on YouTube, you'd have heard this so many times. But this is really a YouTube video that I'm just teaching live because one of my mentors said it changed my life. He said, I hate doing stuff and just talking to a camera and not getting no energy. But if I could talk to people, I could understand what sticks and what doesn't stick. So that when I go to sell something, my communication has improved. And it sounds like I've done this a million times, which I have by that point. So if you're in a live Zoom room right now, you are a part of the live YouTube video. And at the end of this, I usually have like hot seats and coaching call, like coaching for your specific situation. But the whole point of this is that I want to leverage my time as much as possible. And since this is free, I'm looking at all the ways I can leverage it. Okay. So what are we going to talk about today? I have discovered something that my mentor has been telling me about. I mean, I work with a lot of beauty pros, and a lot of these beauty pros they have courses, and you guys are like, I don't like this B word, but you're burnt out and you working a lot of hours and you got your shop, but you also got your family, you got yourself, and you barely have time to get your hair done. You barely have time to go to Walmart or Kroger for yourself. And it's honestly like, I wish I just had some time for me. And a lot of them, they create these courses because they want one time for themselves, but also income to be able to make it easier for their family and investments and all that type of stuff. And as I was sitting here and I was thinking about what I want to talk about today, I realized that one of my mentors shared something that was very powerful. His name is Russell Brunson. And he said that anytime you feel like you have a good course, but your good course is not selling, it's most, or I would say probably not the fact that it's not a good course. It's probably the fact that you have not broken these three beliefs inside of your potential student's mind that makes them say, I want to sign up for your thing. I want to sign up for that thing. And as I'm hearing that, it didn't really make sense at first because I just was like, I was kind of getting started in this game and I was trying to figure out how to sell my own courses. I used to be a photographer and I kind of learned how to sell courses as a photographer then. And I'm working with beauty pros and I'm helping them sell their courses. And I kind of like, I thought that the key was to have a good course. But then I realized that people don't know how good your course is until they get in it. So if they don't know how good your course is until they get in it, that means that everything that really matters the most is everything you do before they get in it. Now, we're not having a conversation about like fulfilling and delivering on your promises. You should have some integrity to give people what they pay for. But I think what I want to hit on today is the three big beliefs that stop a lot of beauty pros, or the three big beliefs beauty pros need to break in their content, in their presentations, if you do webinars, that will allow you to instantly double the amount of sales you get from your course. Okay, so when we think about those three things, I want you to kind of think about this. If you know that you have a good course, and you probably like, Jay, I've been pushing my course. I thought I was gonna be broke free from by now. I'm like, I know I got something good, but how do I get people in it? I want you to know that there are three big beliefs you have to break in order to get more signups for your course. So we just sit back and think about this. It's not that your course is bad, it's just that your potential student believes these things around your course. And since they believe these things around your course, they're not taking that first action or they're not taking that big action and paying you for what you are trying to offer to them. So when you think about this, you probably, okay, Jay, what is the first big belief? The first big belief is all around what we call your map. Okay, so when you think about this, this is where you were at one point in time. A burnt out beauty pro, didn't know how to do color. You were new to the game, wherever you were. Think about where you were 5 years ago. And then you decided to make a change for your life. So your journey probably looked like this. But eventually you got here. And maybe I should add hair, right? Because it's women in here today. You got here. Now, if you were to come here and you were to look back and ask yourself, dang, if I was to go back to my 5-year-old self and have a conversation with them, and they ask me, you know what, T, how would you have done this easier? How would you get here faster? You will be able to provide them 3, 5, 6, 7, 2 steps to get them from here to here faster because you have took this long road. And what I like to call that is your map. You have a map that's step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, step number 4, step number 5 that you can deliver to people that will help them get from pain to happiness faster. So the first big belief you have to break around your course, let's say you have a course and it's an academy or a program. The first big belief you have to break around your course is that this is the right map for them to follow. If you do not break that belief, then they will look at you and be like, T, I see you got the color course, but I don't really believe that this is what I should do. I don't believe that your way is the best way. At this point right here, all your audience is thinking about is this the best way for me? Right? And typically, people, let me not project. I like to have little moments too. Like this is, my session. I like to have a little moment. I like to joke and stuff. So I'm not that serious, but I am for real. Okay. I've noticed that a lot of beauty pros who don't know how to sell, they try to just be the cheapest to get more sales. And when you are the cheapest and you're trying to get more sales, what do you feel like you do when you go in Walmart and it's like one dish liquid is $2 and the other one is $3? You're probably like, oh, I don't really got to pay that extra dollar for that little Don, but I get the Walmart version. So you're just gonna get price shop. So whatever type of course you have, right? If you have a color academy, right? If you have a braiding academy, you need to just step back and look at it and be like, okay, dang, if I look at what everybody else doing, am I really competing on price for real? Like, what makes my thing for real? Like, not the stuff makes it different inside from the outside. What makes your thing look different than Shanae's thing? I love Martin. Shanae's thing over here. All right. So when you think about that, the first big belief we have to break down is, dang, I see T has this color course, but I don't really think this is the right thing for me. I don't really think this is the right strategy for me, you know. And guess what? They're not going to do? They're not going to buy. But I don't know if you guys ever heard about a webinar. The way to do a webinar is, you know how people be like, you shouldn't be giving this because this is out of context. But I feel like it can help somebody either live or on YouTube. When you do a webinar, the first 15 minutes is all about your origin story, not about your dogs, your cats, how long you've been in color, or how long you've been braiding. See, that's the moment where I be laughing, y'all. The first 15 minutes is all about your origin story, but your origin story is all about how you discovered the map. So I have a program, and in that program, I tell people that the best way to launch the course is to pre-sell it. So I tell the story of how I discovered the map on how to pre-sell. I came across this guy named Stu McLaren. He talked about this thing called the Founding Members Launch. I went and did it, and I had to literally just show my face, make a video, and people were like, hey, I want to sign up for your course. I'm like, it's not created yet. What do you mean you want to sign up for it? But people's like, no, I like the idea, and I want to be a part of the first couple people that help you build the program. I was like, oh, I tell that story of how I discovered the map. Now, the next 15 minutes is all about you teaching the map. Ooh, this is going to help somebody doing webinars, whoever listens to this. I'm going to get back on track in a second. The next 15 minutes is all about you teaching the map. So the first 15 minutes, I tell them the story about how I discovered the map, AKA my process. The next 15 minutes, I teach them the map. Okay. I discover how to do a founding members launch, but here are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps to do that. Okay, so that's very important. I thought I'd drop that webinar tip for some people because I'm actually coaching that in my mastermind right now, where a lot of people just do webinars and they come on there and just talk. A webinar in general is all about breaking the beliefs your audience have around the thing that you're going to sell them at the end. And if you can break these beliefs that we're talking about right now, you will see more sales at the end of your webinar. Okay, gotcha. So the first big belief is all about the map. They don't believe that the way that you are telling them is the best way to do that. So since they don't believe that, we need to create content in our webinar presentation, tell stories that allow them to come to their own aha moment that, oh, this is the best way to do whatever you're trying to sell them. All right. So this is all about the way. I don't believe that your way is the best way. Now, number two, let's say that in the first 15 minutes, you tell them your origin story and you get them to be like, oh, wow, Jaylin did the pre-sale method. I feel like I could do that too. This is the best way to sell my course. I shouldn't create all these videos first. The next big belief you have to break down is that, okay, I believe that this is the best way, but I don't think that I can do it. So the next big belief is all about me, internal. Like, I see that T has the color course, and I believe that her way is the best way, but I don't think that I can do it because blank. So it's like a me thing. It's like I'm just making up. I like this. It's like a picture. Let's say somebody holding something, and it's like me. They're pointing their fingers at themselves. Let me kind of give you an example. But let's say that I have a coloring course. I'm actually working with a student. Her name is Danielle. She has a coloring course, and her coloring course helps specifically licensed cosmetologists who mainly specialize in natural hair learn how to color texture hair. That's her whole niche and target audience and big promise. And she's helping them do that within a certain time frame. So first thing we had to get them to believe is that, okay, Danielle's way of doing this is the best way. Check. Now they're like, okay, I see that Danielle's the best way, but I don't think I can do it because blank. So now some internal, you have to think about what are some of the reasons that your audience may be like, I can't do it because of blank. I can't do it because I'm not technical. That's a big one in my industry. A lot of beauty pros say that I'm not good with tech. So the belief I have to break down in my webinars is around tech. Your industry may be like, I had another client. She's a stitch braider. Her thing is like, I see that stitch braids is the best braid thing to master, but I can't do it because I'm not good at content. or I can't do it because I don't think I braid fast enough, or I like it's gonna help somebody. I be feeling like a preacher sometimes where the preacher be like, y'all not getting it. I'm just gonna stop talking. I feel like that sometimes. But it's all about I. So if you think about, all right, I'm selling people a color course. The first thing I have to knock down is getting them to believe that my way is the best way. Check. Now, the next thing I have to think about is what are all of the reasons? My mentor calls these chains of false belief. Chains of false belief. So, for example, something happens in your life. So let's say something happens in your life, then you get affected by it, and you create a story. You create a story in your mind about it. So every time something like that comes around, you tell your mind like, "Hey, remember the last time you tried to do blank? That's going to happen again if you try to do this, and that's why you are not able to do it." So you kind of got to think about, okay, what are all of the reasons somebody would say that they can't do my course? Is it because they don't have a laptop, or I don't have access to blank, or like it's all internal, you guys. So you got to think about what are all the internal reasons they may have around your map. An easy way to do this is to think about when you first got started 5 years ago or 10 years ago, what were all of the internal reasons you told yourself you can learn how to do color? I'm just so scared to mess up somebody's hair. I'm just so scared to mess up somebody's curls patterns. And I'm very confident that if you start talking like that in your content, like, hey girl, and this is me, like this rant, like mini rant content idea, like, hey, if you scared that you're going to damage your client, if you're scared of doing color because you're going to damage your clients, you feel like you're going to damage your client's curl pattern, here are three things you need to make sure you do before you ever touch one head. That's way different than like, hey, I got a color course, sign up for it. Hey, I got a stitch braid course, sign up for it, because it positions you as an educator, which builds trust, and it makes them feel like she understands me. So you guys have to figure out what are all of the internal reasons that people are looking at your way of doing things and like, I can't do that because I. Okay. Now the third big belief is all about this, the external. So the best way for you guys to think about it is like this. All right. The first big belief I need to break in their mind is around my map, my process, my way of doing things. All right. I get them to believe that. So now they believe that, but internally they're like, T's way of coloring is the best, but I don't think I can do it because of blank, whatever that blank is for you. Okay. So now the third reason looks like this. I believe that T's way of coloring is the best. I believe that I can do it. The third thing is, but when I go to do it, something outside of me is going to stop me. So one of the examples my mentor gave was around the keto diet, and he had kind of told us like, one of the external reasons that's outside of the person that the women would blame when he was writing copy was that their husband loves to snack. So their husband, like, I believe keto is the best way for me, but my husband it's outside of them always keeps snacks around the house, so I'm not going to be able to lose weight because my husband, like, they're looking for something to blame outside of themselves for why they can't sign up. So you have to think about, all right, I have another knotless braider, and she's in my mastermind, and her strategy is like, you need to master knotless braids. That's the one thing she feel like people need to master. The reasons that they feel like they can't do is because they're not good at learning online. So they can't match it because I need in person. That's one of the false beliefs. I need in person. Okay. Now the external reason is, all right, you got me to believe that knotless braids is the best. You got me to see how actually learning online is better than learning in person. But when I go to create my content, Instagram's algorithm holds my content back. That's outside of them. So I promise you guys, if beauty pros could start thinking this way, like, think like a marketer. I know y'all are very good at what y'all do, but let's start thinking like a marketer a little bit and just sit back and take some time and think like, all right, these are all the beliefs, false beliefs that someone has around my thing. These are the false beliefs someone has around my map, aka my process. These are the false beliefs someone has about themselves, about why they can't do it. And then these are all the false beliefs that somebody feels are going to stop them when they go to do it. So let's say if I love coloring. I taught a color student earlier. I got a color student live. We're gonna keep rocking out with coloring today. So let's say that you have a coloring course, and one of the external reasons they may blame is like, I don't have the proper place to practice color. Like I believe that I live at my mama house, and if I mess up her sink, it's over. So they're blaming living at their mama's house as the reason that they won't sign up for your thing. So if you can break that false belief out their mind, it's gonna be like, oh, I actually can do this at my mama's house. So how do we turn that into a content piece? No, one of the single biggest struggles I think aspiring colorists make in the beginning of their journey is they believe that they need a big salon to be able to do color. Well, let me show you how you can do color from the comfort of your home without messing up your mom's furniture in 3 easy steps. You would kill the game. You would kill the game. I can't repeat it, guys, because honestly, when I go like that, I be forgetting sometimes. It just flow off the top of my head. But you would kill the game and think about how different your content look. You will look like you get people. And something I like to tell my beauty pros when they work with me is like, imagine if you had a boyfriend, or imagine if you had a husband, or a boyfriend would be a better example. No, this one hit home for me. Imagine if you had a family member, and the only time a family member hits you up is when they need something. I'm pretty sure we all got that type of family member. Like, hey, cuz, cuz can I hold 20? And it's like they don't even ask. My wife love to say, like, she can't stand when my family asks for petty amounts of money. Like my family be like, cuz you got $7 I can hold to next week. And when I tell my wife, she be like, they don't even ask for big amounts of money. They ask for like $7, $15. It'd be like, you could at least ask for $50. But it's just the whole point of like, think about that one family member that only asks you stuff, that only hit you up when you need something. It's the same thing when you show up on Instagram. If you only show up on Instagram, number one, when you feel like it, first of all, oh, you got this boost of inspiration that's gonna last 24 hours, and then 7 days from now, you know where to be found. One. And then number two, every time you do show up out the blue from nowhere, you ask somebody to do something. It's the same thing. So what if you shifted your perspective and you had a Jesus mentality where you served first and got something back later, where you planted the seed first and got something back later? Like, think about that. Your content, this is not a content class, but this is a very, very popular topic. Your content needs to serve your people. And I just told my color student earlier, I said, what was your favorite TV show? And she's like, my favorite TV show was Martin. And she said, I think another one's like, It's the Big Couch or something. It's like a preschool show she watched. I said, how often did it used to come on? And she said, it used to come on about every morning. I knew before I went to school, I had to watch the Big Couch. And I said, what would happen if like the Big Couch did not come on? And he's like, I would be upset. And I said, that's the same thing that happens with your audience that you have on Instagram. You feel like you can just come on air when you want to and then get off air when you want to. It's some people that are literally looking at your content, believe it or not. Look, I can't wait to T post. T post, I know, just like your favorite TV show. I know T post every day, 11 a.m. is coming on. I can go to her page, it's there at 11 a.m. Are you that consistent? Let's just think about yourself. I know my audience for the last, since January 1st, I've posted every single day at 6 p.m. You know, Jaylin's TV show come on at 6 p.m. every single day, and it started airing January 1st, and I'm not stopping. Because some people look at, humbly saying, some people look at me to give them value that helps them change their life. But it's the same thing for you. But are we acting like it though? That'd be my thing. Are we really acting like we could change people's lives, or are we being selfish? Because every day you don't show up, you're being selfish. That's just my belief, what I tell my students. So I think that was a whole mini Jaylin rant. It's my TV show, so I guess I can rant about it. Okay, cool. So those are the three big beliefs. Number one, your student doesn't believe that your way is the best way. Number two, they believe your way is the best way, but they don't believe that they can do it. There's something inside of them that makes them be like, that is the best way, but I can't do it. I just can't. And then thirdly, they believe your way is the best way. They believe that they can do it, but it's something outside of them that's gonna hold them back from getting the success that you're promising them. Like Instagram's algorithm, or I don't have enough time. That's another one in my sector. I don't have the time to do it. Like those things out there, are things that make people be like, I'm not signing up for your thing because of those three things. And if you can knock those, my mentor calls them big dominoes down. If you can knock those dominoes down at the end of your sales call or at the end of your presentation, your webinar, you will be able to get more sales. And I think another big thing I want to hit on when it comes to doing webinars, on your webinar, you do not give people the how to do. Well, let me just tell you, anything you do for free, you should never give the how to do it. You should always give the what to do, because the how to do is what you sell. The what to do is what you give away for free. You give away the information for free. You sell the implementation of the information for paid. So if I can be honest, I said this is my TV show. When I come on Whiteboard Mondays, I'm not sitting here and saying, well, hey, here's how you tell a story that breaks down how to get people to believe that your way is the best way. No, I'm going to give you guys the roadmap. And if someone wants my help implementing, then that's what I sell to them. I have a coaching program that's $1,000. I have another coaching program that's $27,000, or I have one-on-ones. So you have to start thinking about like, okay, I'm going to give away the information for free. Social media, YouTube, you can do something just like this. Free strategy calls where you give them the roadmap to success. But if somebody wants your help implementing it, then you're going to charge them for it. And you're going to charge them a decent amount so that not for you to get money, let's back up, but so that they have a deep enough conviction in their heart to do the work. Because when you don't charge enough, usually somebody's like, she got a $27 ebook. They don't even read it. Like, let's be for real. I got a couple of those in my in my email that I have not read. So thinking about that, you guys, these are the three big beliefs that if you can knock these big beliefs down in your audience mind, you will see more success, not only in your content, but also in your webinar presentation, and also when you go to sell anything one-on-one to people. Okay, so I appreciate you guys for coming on live. I think I'm gonna why not have a coaching situation on, I'll let the YouTube video keep going, why not? And they get to watch this part too. So let's see. What's up, T? Big comfy
Hey,
couch. What's up, Kimmy? What's up, Kimmy? Glad to see you on here. Let's talk about it. So T, let me get one takeaway or one question you feel like you have.
I would say this is a combination of a takeaway and a question because as you were talking, when you just said you give away the what to do and you sell the how to do,
Mhm.
that gave me a little bit of clarity on my color program because I've been trying to figure out how to market to my clientele, to my students. And when you said what makes your thing different than everybody else's thing, the one thing that I do very well is I know how to formulate like that.
Mhm.
Most hairstylists don't. And so when you were talking about that and you were like, okay, you need to sell them what to do, which I have a step system that I use that I teach, but I couldn't figure out, well, how do I teach them that without teaching them how to do it? Like, I guess
Yeah.
in my mind, that's the how to do it. But then when I realized it, when you said show them, you teach them how to implement it,
Hmm.
it was like, oh, I can give them the steps, but they still might not know how to do that. So when it's time to
Facts.
actually sit and formulate color, they might have that step by step, but they still don't know how to actually implement it.
Bingo.
That yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
good. That's good. I always tell people like, my wife did this to me one day. It's like, what are you doing? She's like, yeah, I did this back to her. And she was like, are you telling me that I'm talking too much? I was like, oh, I like doing this. It did look better. But of course, when you're a husband, you should just do what you're told to do, right? Right. So yes, you give away the what and you sell the implementation, like the how. And the what is the strategy. Like if you look at a general, let's say we in the army and we getting ready to go to war. If I just say, hey, go out there and shoot people, you'd be like, well, what is the point of doing that? Like, I don't understand. Which is why a good general will say, hey, we're trying to capture blank. And when we capture blank, we're able to do blank. That's our goal. And now, here's how we're going to do that. Oh, we're going to go this and flank this and bomb that. That's how you got to look at it from a student's perspective. And even when, man, I don't have a, and even when, let's say that, let's say that T has a, let's say that T has, she's teaching people how to, um, it was formulate. I should know this word because I got a student that colors.
Yes,
Formulate, right?
a color.
Yeah. How to formulate color. Let's just make this real sexy. Okay, formulate color allows the person to do what?
So basically know what to mix in the bowl to put on the hair to create the color that they need to get them from point A to point B.
Okay. This is going to be very tough for you, but I feel like if you do this, your content will get better.
Mm-hmm.
And also you could see more sales.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure this word shows up a lot in your content. I'm pretty sure this one shows up too. Levels and like
Mm-hmm.
lifting and
Oh,
stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
Tones. Yeah. One of my mentors said that anytime you have a, how do I give this? Okay. Sorry, I gotta think. Because I want this to actually help you and not just be like he just rambling. So remember these words. Okay. I'm gonna ask you some questions. You are gonna give me some answers, and this is gonna make sense. So here we go. At one point, you did not know how to do color. Okay. All right. We all can agree on that. And there was something that happened in your life that made you say, I have to learn how to do color. One of my students, my other color student, she told me that she had a friend that came, or a family member that came to her, and they asked her to do this on her head. She had never did it before, and
Mm-hmm.
she had did it on their head. And when she did it on her head, her friend got up and was like, "Oh, girl, this looks really good." So her friend started taking pictures and started posting it, and people started asking her friend, "How the heck did who did it?" So then Danielle's like, "I don't do color. I just,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just helping a friend out." And she started getting more people that wanted color. So she had that like, I want to call it like a epiphany moment, like an aha moment. She had her aha moment. Where like she did her friend's hair, her friend started posting it, and then from there, uh, that made her want to dive into this is a bridge, by the way. For my diagrams.
Mm-hmm.
Dive into this journey of learning about formulating and toning and levels. And she started geeking out on all of the technical terms of the thing. And then she arrived over here. So now when she talks to people in her content and her sales calls, she's telling stylists who don't know nothing about what she's talking about, hey girl, you just gotta get your levels right. If you get your levels right, the tones look better. And they sit here looking like, I don't know what you're talking about. So my mentors tell us that what we have to do is when we are selling something that is let's just say our core offer. And typically a core offer is the main thing you sell, like the first thing people buy to get into your world. And that first thing is usually bought based on a desire. And then they pay a little bit more when they want to go deeper and like kind of master it. So kind of like have a pre-sale method coaching program. And I tell people like you can launch your first course sale, you can make your first course sale before recording a lesson. You don't gotta pay no graphic designer, photographer, none of that. I'm speaking to their desire. I don't come on Instagram and say, hey, I can show you how to create a VIP list funnel because you create a VIP list funnel, it's gonna allow you to get leads and emails, you get leads and emails. It's gonna be like, bro, I don't, what are you even talking about? But now when you upgrade to my next program, then we can start speaking the language because you understand what I'm talking about and you have made it to a certain level. So right now, T, you have a color academy that's teaching people how to do color, I'm assuming. Which means most of these people, I'm assuming, they may not know. Let me say they may not know about the terms that you say. So you will have better chances of getting more signups by going back to when you had the aha moment and talk about that so that they can come to the same aha moment that you had. And then they make the decision on their own to geek out on the journey and learn the techno babble. That makes sense. Yeah. So you coming out on your content and you are giving them, hey guys, let me show you guys how to lift at level 10 or lift at a level or this lift. It's like, girl, what are you talking about? But how I just said, what does formulate mean? You like, well, this is how to mix the right stuff in the bowl so that it give you the right color. Oh, now I want to learn how to do it. But just telling me formulate, it's like, okay, I'm not really that interested. But if you had a piece of content that said, hey, you guys, I'm gonna use Danielle, are you a natural hair specialist who want to take one client a day instead of 20 silk outs? Or are you a natural hair specialist who's ready to go from box dye to real stuff? Like, or hey, you guys, let me show you the 3 best products to use when you are mixing the stuff. Like, talk like that at this level. And then once they pay you, now we having big boy conversations. Now we saying levels and formulating and toners and stuff. But on your content side, we need to capture and direct attention. And you're not going to capture attention, depending on your target audience, by talking about what you just said. Now, if your target audience is people like you and you already understand the language, we can scratch this whole conversation. But I'm going to assume that it's not, and it's people that maybe where you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. We need to talk to them just like you got talked to at the aha moment. That makes sense. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let me see. Okay, she
Yes.
said. You say yeah. Okay, cool. I got you. I got you. So now I can go back to what I was really trying to say. So thinking about that, let's say you teach people how to formulate like a pro, and the headline for that is how to. What do you say? Formulate allows you to do.
I'm
You
trying to
said
think.
it good the first time.
Oh, basically what you need to mix to get your client from point A to point B.
Okay. How to how to mix products
Yep.
that this is how I like writing with comedy that allow your how to mix products so good that when your client steps out the chair, they can't stop looking in the mirror
Mm-hmm.
because you did such a good job mixing. The color is killing it, and of course you apply it right and all that type of stuff. We're not talking about that, and they can't stop looking in the mirror. And I feel like talking like this versus, hey, you guys, let me show you how to formulate would make people like, dang, T, I need to watch T's TV show every single day at whatever time. And you say, all right, formulate, this is the formulate like a pro process. How to mix products so good that when your client steps out the chair, they can't stop looking in the mirror. What? What do she got to say? Step number one, step number two, step number three. What are the steps? Give me, I got you. But I don't want to make this more complicated. Step number one, choose your, nope, here we go. Step number one, prepare your product. What do I need to use? I need to go get it, put it in a certain area. Then let's say step number two is mix, and then let's say step number three is apply. This is the strategy that goes on Instagram. But now, let's say for step number one, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps. That's what you sell. So I'm on screen. Hey guys, let me show you how to mix products so good that when your client steps out the chair, they can't stop looking in the mirror. Step number one, you need to prepare your products. Make sure you have all your products properly prepared in the area that's designated for mixing so that you don't mess anything else up. Step number two, you need to mix your products. My favorite ways to mix product is to do this one technique. Bam. Step number three, the last thing is, of course, applying. But when you apply, you need to make sure you don't make this blank mistake, this one mistake. All right. That's a piece of content. Education. Now T is the best teacher ever. Now I see how me that do 20 silk outs a day can do one color head a day and change my life. That makes sense. I appreciate you guys. That was a lot today. Any other thoughts? Kimmy, you were on earlier. Kimmy is somebody in the pre-sale method coaching program as well, who's a braider. Kimmy, you got anything today before we go ahead and hop off? She's talking about, I'm always here. I like that you always say you always here. That's very reassuring. You are always here. Glad to hear that. T, anything else for you?
No, I have a lot of notes over here.